the first thing you need to start writing JavaScript is a web browser, because the computer doesn't natively understand the language. It needs something to translate what it says. So that's what browsers do. There's other things that do some similar translation, but we're just going to use a web browser. Now I'm using Firefox. And the second thing you need is a text editor to make your project in. So my favorite one is VS Code. So if we just look for it, when you download and install it, you will see something like this as a welcome screen. Now we can use this to make a new project by saying open folder, and I'm just going to say new folder, first project, making a new folder here, and I'll say open my first project folder, and now we're in. So let's start by making an HTML file, index.html, because we need it to be able to load the JavaScript file. So the browser needs to open an HTML file first. So to do that, we need to do some housekeeping first. Let's say the doc type is HTML, and let's make an HTML tag. You'll see VS Code automatically closes the tag after you write this bracket here. And inside the HTML, we're going to add two things. We're going to add a head, and we're going to add a body. Right. So inside the head, I need two things. I need a meta thing that's going to say this document is going to use UTF encoding for the characters. That's just something computers need to know what the text uses to be displayed, right? And it's going to have a title. It's going to say first project. And if I save that and right click over here on the HTML file and say reveal in Explorer, if I open this thing with my browser, so if it doesn't natively, you'll see your browser over here, right? And now I see first project over here. That's the title, empty document. That's what I was expecting. Right, okay. So now let's add a little script over here in the body. We can say script, and the source of that script, src, is going to be main.js. And now we're going to create that main.js file over here. Right click, new file, main.js. And now we have this JavaScript file that's going to be executed as soon as the browser opens our HTML file. So let's test if it runs by typing console log hello. Right. Now if I save that and go over here in the browser and refresh my page, I'm not going to see anything because the console is a development feature and it's usually hidden to normal users. So you're going to have to open it by going to the menu, Web Developer, Web Console. Now Chrome also has a similar console. It's really easy to find it. So just Google Chrome console and you'll see how to open it. But now we see our hello thing. So this means our JavaScript file is being loaded. And now we can start actually programming. So the first and most common thing in programming languages that you're going to see is the notion of variables. And they look like this. Let's say I make a variable called name. Let name equals array. Now, the computer is going to be able to reuse this thing over and over multiple times. That's why variables exist, basically. So if I say console log name, save and refresh the page, now I'm going to see my name being console logged. So here we go, and now we can do other stuff, like, let me show you, I can reuse this thing, hi plus name. If I save and refresh, you can see it reusing the variable. Now, there's another notion in JavaScript that's called an object, right? So objects can contain multiple properties, not just, for this variable name, this just contains a string. It's like a list of characters, right? But objects, if I say let person equals curly braces. Now this thing can contain a lot of other stuff inside. It can have a name, it can have an age, and you can add as much of these properties as you want. So if I now try to say console.log person, you will see that the person is an object with a name and an age, right? And here's what's cool about objects is you can access specific parts of them. See, if I say dot, I can access specific parts of these objects. So if I say console log person.name and refresh this thing, I'm just going to see the name. So, and a lot of stuff in JavaScript is built using this object thing. So that's why I'm trying to show it to you. Now, here's another cool thing about these objects, right? They can not only contain properties like this, but they can also contain functions. Now, what's a function? Let me show you what a function is first, right? Okay, let me just get rid of that. So, a function, let's say greet, right? A function can take an argument and it can return stuff. So, let's say it's going to return hi plus name. Alright, and now we can call this function. Let's say let greeting equals greet name, greet, and you actually need to put in a name over here in the argument. And now you're going to see that we've called the function and we're assigning the result of that function to the variable. And now what we can do is we can console log greeting. And if I refresh that, we're going to see highlight, right? So let's walk through this, right? We've defined a function that can do this. We've called it once by doing this thing, say greet with the parentheses around it, and we put in an actual argument inside, right? Then the result of that, so the result of that is what is being returned over here. We're assigning that to a variable, and then we're console logging the variable, right? Okay, that was a lot. But here's the thing with functions. You know, you can define them like this, just out in the open, but they can also live inside of objects. So if I make an object, like my person here, it can not only have a name and an age, but it can have functions built into it. Like, let's say, is old enough. Alright, that's is underage, alright. And what this can do, right? Now it's inside the object. So we can say, we can take the age, right? We can return age bigger than 18. Or this age, because we need the age of this object, right? And now, if I say console log person is underage, and I call that, right? And I save the file. If I refresh the thing, I'm going to see, well, actually, I've made a mistake. So, is underage true, but I'm checking if the age is bigger than 18. So, if I'm checking if the person's underage, I need to say less than 18. If I save that, we're going to see false. All right, so I'm saying, I'm checking if the person is underage, right? And then this returns what's called, this is an expression, right? I'm taking the age and I'm checking if it's smaller than 18. And that evaluates to what's called a Boolean value. So true or false, right? Here we go. Now, I wanted to show you this thing with the objects and the functions because a lot of JavaScript is built on top of these concepts, right? So if you learn these in the beginning, you'll have a great time coding in JavaScript.